This is Josephus coming to you live inside the one and only Poetry Cafe, feeding your mind and your body and your soul. And we are here with another, so many things this man is. You may have seen him go viral, you know what I'm saying, on all the social media for his stupendous comments at Clark Atlanta University. I'm here in Atlanta for the week, and I had to make sure I stopped by to check out Dr. Daniel Black, you know what I'm saying? How you feeling?
I feel amazing, brother, you know, and it's always great to be in your presence. Always great to be at the feet of genius. So I'm glad to be here with you, man.
Yeah, as usual, we're telling stories and ideas and concepts, and Daniel's definitely a writer, philosopher, lecturer, teacher, visionary, dreamer. What, forget anything else?
That about sums it up.
Things. So, me being an artist and a poet, when you think of the word poetry, like what's the first thing that comes to mind?
Wordplay.
Okay.
I always think of poetry as saying things in a very unique way. I think of words dancing together, word arrangement, syntax. I always think of some manipulation of language when I think of poetry.
I feel that. And how important do you think the poetic art form is to storytelling? I mean, because I know you are a storyteller, you know,
Well,
so
I certainly
when you
try.
think of poetry and the art of storytelling, and especially the ancestral, you know, space that storytelling comes from, do you think they're in the same vein? Do they differ in your mind?
I think of them probably as the same. For me, storytelling is poetry for sure. And I think Black people, I think we do poetry almost inherent to our being. The way we speak is poetic. The way we walk is poetic. And our wordplay sometimes happens in word choice. Sometimes it happens in irony. Like one of the things I think Black people do well is the naming tradition. There's poetry in that. I remember back home, this really large man, everybody called him Tiny.
Makes perfect sense.
I mean, right. I mean, you know, all of that is kind of the mechanisms of poetry. I think we're masters of repetition, which I think is a rhetorical strategy in poetry. We do lots with vocal inflection. You know, I come from the sermonic tradition in the Black church where poetry is made perfect, you know. And so when I begin to think of our ancestors and how they came here with language already in their mouths, and yet they were forced in many instances to make room for European languages.
Right.
They did not, however, regurgitate unto their own loss their own African languages. They kept those and certainly kept vestiges of them even in structure. And so some of the poetry that we as Black people have inherited is the merger of African language, African syntax, African lexicons with English, and the ways in which Black people merge, if you will, the forced and the unforced, the stepmother and the mother tongue together in order to create a discourse that could carry the complexities of Black survival.
First of all, I'm just looking at the camera and I'm listening to you speak, and we're both sitting here in shorts and black t-shirts.
And Black t-shirts, how funny is that? And we didn't plan this.
We didn't plan this, but the lexicon, the complication, and the knowledge that we hold as a people is just magnificent. You know, and I think we are always slept on, and they just have no idea what we're capable of. Maybe they do, and that is part of the problem, and where the fear ensues. So when you think about what you do at the university level, how would you describe that to our audience, to say they don't necessarily know who you are, what you represent?
You know, I think I settle by telling people I'm a writer, which is true.
This is factual information.
I'm a choir director, which is true. I run rites of passage, which is true. There are many, many hats I wear.
Okay, let's pause there. So writer. So how many books have you authored at this point in your life?
9. I have 9 published.
Okay.
And I have 2 or 3 manuscripts that are finished that I'm smoothing out, that are forthcoming.
Nice. You direct the choir here or at church?
I do direct the choir here at the Absalom Center at church. Every 4th Sunday, every first Sunday, we sing at Rise Community Church.
Okay.
Press that. Go to that window.
Letting somebody in.
Yeah, we're letting somebody in. There we go. Yeah. We sing at Rise Community Church every first Sunday. The Mighty Voices of Power. That's the choir.
Okay.
And
is that choir derived from the university?
No. That choir is derived at Rise Church.
Okay.
We've just expanded, and so sometimes we'll sing for cultural events and that kind of thing too. And so we do that, and I'm right, and I public speak probably 2 or 3 times a week, somewhere, flying here, yonder, there, back and forth. And my public speaking really birthed from doing the commencement speech at Clark.
Yes. So talk about that. Let's talk about that for a moment. Like, did you have any idea what you were getting yourself into when that happened?
I had no idea. I really had literally no idea.
Yeah.
I had no earthly idea that was going to happen. I had no earthly idea whatsoever. In fact, the day before, I said, God, I got to give this speech tomorrow. So give me something.
Right.
And the speech came, and I wrote it down. I think they had given me 20 or 25 minutes to do the speech, but I think it's 14 minutes. But it hit hard. Man.
It did. People related.
Yeah, it's millions of views now.
Yeah.
So it hit hard. It hit so hard. Everywhere I go now, somebody has seen me, or the phrase is "Here he comes, y'all." And people say it in airports, in restaurants, in libraries, everywhere I go. It was really a game changer for me. It was a game changer for me in terms of my public presence, in terms of my voice as a kind of voice for Black America. It was a game changer for me in terms of my ability to bring some recognition to my home institution, Clark Atlanta University. And it put me out there in terms of the speaking circuit in America.
Right.
And so it's been incredible.
Yeah. What did that do for you? Like when you found out that, you were going viral all over the place, did that remind you of the power of your voice? I mean, you teach and lecture already.
I do.
So, you're in a classroom with students consistently, but to have the world now hearing your words, did that reaffirm or remind, or did it was just like, it's been here, y'all just not getting on to it?
It certainly affirmed, and you're right, I've been teaching for 30 years here, and what's funny is so many of my own students came up and said, we get this every day in class.
Yeah, no doubt.
Right. And so a lot of them were like, I would congratulate you, but this is who you are, this is what you do, So that was very, very heartwarming. But it really affirmed that, when you have a gift, very often you have to leave home to see the influence and the expanse of it. Because at home, it's like if your mother's a great cook,
right.
And you grew up in the house every day, you don't say, Mom, that was incredible.
Yeah.
You just eat.
You just eat.
Yeah. But if you leave home and have to eat somebody else's cooking, you'll recognize it. Yeah. And so it was really a boost, to my self-esteem, my self-worth. But it also, quite frankly, Joe, showed me that I have things to say to the world. And God made a platform from which I can now say them.
Yeah. Let's rewind for a moment. So how often do the commencement speakers come from the universities? Lots of us universities
Never.
bring in people.
Never.
So to have you, like, how did you get selected to be on that stage at that time versus them bringing in? Because I think we had Queen Latifah this year. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's always somebody that
in fact,
bringing in to speak.
They told me here, I think I'm the first faculty member ever.
Yeah, I think so too.
And as you said, it's really very standard at really any school to bring in some person of notoriety. It brings recognition to the school, and
Right.
you know, we're hoping people make financial donations and that kind of thing. So it almost never happens that a school uses its own faculty person.
Right.
So somebody recommended me, because I think they heard me speak on campus earlier in the year, and the kids just went wild and whatever. And so they recommended me to be the commencement speaker, and Dr. French took the recommendation. And at our spring convocation, he said, "Listen, everyone, I want to tell this entire campus that we're going to do something different this year. We're not going all over the world trying to find a speaker. We have a diamond in our own backyard."
Right.
I was sitting there on the phone texting my friends or something.
Right.
You know, I wasn't even,
attention.
I really wasn't. And he said, and this year, and he said, "This, I don't think this ever happened, and but this is something we're going to try." He said, "We're going to have one of our own. Our commencement speaker this year will be none other than Dr. Daniel Black." And the students roared like, yeah! It was the most incredible. And it caught me. I was like, I was sitting close to my friend. I said, "Did he say me?" I said, "What?" I was really literally confused for a minute.
Right. So I hadn't told you yet.
No, he had not.
Oh, wow.
I had not heard any of this. This was March.
So your first time hearing about this was when he announced
in
it?
convocation when he announced it.
Wow.
That was my first time hearing it. And then it gets really thick, Joe, because the day before, or maybe a week before the commencement exercise, a lot of the alumni called complaining because Morehouse was having Joe Biden, Spelman had Angela Bassett that year, and we get this no name. Right? And they were like, "How come we can't get somebody some notoriety?" And Dr. French was like, "I think y'all might just want to wait, just hold on." But a lot of alums were like, "Dang, we getting sold out."
Yeah.
Until I did it. Then afterwards, Dr. French said, those same people called him back and said, "Cancel what I said."
But at least they called back and
yeah, I like that too. And he said they did. He said, "Cancel." In fact, I think it's 2 or 3 million views or something now.
I haven't looked. We
and
didn't look.
Biden's speech is only like 34,000. Yeah.
So with that thought in mind, like, I wonder, like next year, how many other schools are going to adopt the similar policy of having someone from their own. That'll be interesting.
That will be interesting
to see
That'll
what
be
kind of trend this now sets precedence for,
Right.
because it happened and it worked.
Right.
This is
Right.
business.
Right.
Why would you want to pay somebody all this money for somebody that's not going to connect
That's
you to your people?
That's right. That's true. That's true. See, the big thing, of course, is I don't have no millions to donate to the school as a result of being the graduation speaker. A lot of times, people try to choose commencement speakers who they hope will make kind of leave a financial blessing.
Right.
And I get that. I didn't have that.
But the notoriety,
it did help that.
you know what I'm saying? When it comes to the university, the people that may
In
not
fact,
want to come here now because of seeing that speech.
The following fall, I think they said we got 56,000 applications.
Which is better? You know what I'm saying? Which would you rather have? And then to be able to aspire, as a professor, as a student on campus, like, hey, that could be me one day. Like to have that as somebody you can reach out and touch and then see the next day. You know what I'm saying? I think makes a huge impact. So I think it's really dope that he took the recommendation, and I'm excited to see what happens next with how the trend with this space changes.
Yeah.
Because of this, because it's going to continue to grow.
Yes, sir. I think
It's going to
continue to grow.
Continue to grow. So when you are brought out to these different spaces now to speak, like, is there a particular topic you're speaking on? They want you to regurgitate this commencement speech?
No, they never ask for that. It's always something very specific and always something very original that they want. And it has absolutely been across the entire spectrum of possibility. I've spoken at medical conventions. I spoke for the Black Lawyers Association.
So they want that magic for their product or service.
Yes. I guess one could say that, yes. And at every place, I write something new.
Right.
And so far, every single place I've had a standing ovation.
Right.
I don't care where I went. I've done a lot of commencement speeches too, but most of them have been conventions, conferences, and I was like, what am I doing at a medical convention? I'm not in the, they're like, say something that might inspire doctors. And so that's what I do. And it's been unbelievably successful.
So A, your gift will make room for you.
Yes, sir. Oh, yes, sir. I believe
B,
that.
the power of the spoken word and the power to inspire and motivate people is priceless.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And when that comes to the surface, everybody wants a piece of it.
Everybody wants
to be inspired and motivated.
Yes.
This is why music is so popular,
Yes.
Why it's being played over and over again, because we want to be inspired, we want to be in that mood, we want to feel good about ourselves.
Right.
And so, man, so it's amazing. So before we finish, I want to say thank you for making time.
Oh, yes,
in
sir.
your busy schedule.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
To speak
Absolutely.
with us today. It was amazing to see you at A&T.
Yes.
Last
Yes.
year.
That was tons of fun.
Jelani Favors got to be in the building, and students again gravitated.
Yes,
to your voice.
That was a lot of fun.
And wanted their books signed.
Yes,
and,
yes,
like run to the car and get more books because he ain't bringing enough inside. So yeah, it was a great space, man. And I think that more people need to lean into the power of their voice.
Yes.
What I'm doing here in Atlanta this week is with students about validating their voices. I think we have so much to say, and we do it so eloquently, so powerfully, so creatively.
Yes.
And it changes and molds the world, from hip hop to jazz to gospel to I Have a Dream. Like all these are speeches or writings that are birthed from our culture, who we are and where we're going.
Absolutely. And last thing I might say too, especially to young people, is I taught at Clark 30 years before I got that opportunity to speak.
That's an overnight success.
Right. It's right. And it takes years to master anything. I don't care what it is. It takes years to master anything. So to any folks who are hearing this podcast, do not be afraid of time. Don't be afraid of time seeming to linger and seeming to take its time. Time is really preparing you, and not just preparing you. Time is preparing your audience too. So let time do what time needs to do. Again, in 14 minutes, my whole life shifted. But I had worked 30 years for it.
When I hear you say that, it makes me think about when I see the Usain Bolt.
Oh yes.
Where he trained all this time
for 9 seconds.
9 seconds.
Crazy.
But his whole life changed forever.
Yes.
And people see those 9 seconds that change the world, but he's been training, his whole life.
That's the deep point.
So often we don't see ourselves in that same. We just want instant gratification.
That's right.
We don't want the journey. We just want the destination.
That's right.
But the journey is necessary to get to where you need to get to.
Absolutely.
So that's super, super. Well, what do you even teach here?
I do Black history. I do African American studies. I do Black literature. I do anything in Black studies.
Okay. So why do you think that's important, especially at HBCU, to have those classes?
Because I think self-knowledge is the prerequisite for self-worth. I think anyone who does not know his or her history, who does not know from whom you come, anybody who is not very familiar with their ancestors, their self-confidence struggles.
Yeah. A lot of that's not being taught in schools, been taken out of schools. And so I know for me, college was the first place that I really got a chance to study African American literature.
And where was that for you?
Clark Atlanta University. So I started here. My freshman and sophomore year before I transferred to A&T to finish up. I was part of that dual degree program that we had here instead of going to Tech or whatever. I went back to A&T. So yeah, man, Brawley Hall, you know what I'm saying? Still standing. Part of the Male Initiative program way back in the day. So that was awesome. Good times. So what's next? What do you have in the pipeline people can expect? To see?
I am doing something very daring.
Okay.
And that is I'm writing a new scripture. I'm writing a new word of God, if you will. This is what God said to me to say to the world. I am using the traditional biblical.
This is Josephus coming to you live.